Hello and welcome to the Vibe Master channel. Today I have a 1964 Watkins Rapier 44 electric guitar made in England. To give a quick synopsis on the guitar. Rosewood fingerboard, incredibly long headstock, waterslide decal, it says Watkins on it, with a little collegiate music note. Now, interestingly enough, Watkins made necks and bodies for Vox guitars, which was one of the big two guitar companies in England in the 60s. We had Burns, which were very, very expensive, and Voxes, which were kind of expensive. And then coming in third here was the Watkins Rapier line, which were about 35 pounds in 1964. So they were a little bit less, and but in my opinion, as well made as any Vox from the time period. Not as well made as Burns, which were absolutely insanely overbuilt. Now, interestingly, here at the 7th fret, which you can kind of see, that inlay is sunk into the fingerboard. That's where they would hold the fingerboard on in the gluing process. And if you get a Vox from the same time period that has a neck made by Watkins, it will have the exact same thing going on. It has an incredibly functional tremolo. And I always wondered if Brian May sort of took his design for his homemade guitar for his tremolo from the Watkins. We have this bizarre array of switches and knobs. Now, the interesting thing about these pickups is when Mr. Watkins designed these pickups, he had gotten the idea for the pickup from his toy train set. So it's just a coil wrapped in some kind of fabric wax paper inside of a housing with 3 ceramic magnets bolted to the housing on the inside, and then a smaller ceramic magnet, reverse polarity, underneath the B string. So it's a really unique pickup, very low output, but sounds phenomenal. This thing holds its own with any guitar. I've gigged with it. I've never had to readjust my amp after using a telly and then plugging this in. Also, you have a rhythm and solo switch, and over here you have your combination of pickups: 3-4-4, 2-3-4, 2-4, 2-4 tone. The 2 and the 4 together are the only ones that get a tone, which is actually backwards, and rhythm and solo volumes. Now, when you're on your solo setting, it's only these 3 pickups, and these are your combinations of those pickups. 3 and 4 together would be 3 and 4 together, and then 4 would be just the lead pickup. 2-3-4 is obviously those 3 together, and then 2 and 4 are the 2 outside ones, and they are the ones that get their own tone control. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but it's pretty neat. Then when you go to your rhythm setting, it is only your number 1 pickup, which gets its own designated volume control. Now, when I was a teenager, my very first electric guitar was the Watkins Rapier 44, which I bought used off a friend of mine for the kingly sum of $35. And this is actually my second Watkins Rapier 44, having sold my first one for the kingly sum of $75 so that I could buy a Les Paul Jr. around 1975 or 76. I always missed that guitar, and about 3 years ago I acquired this one. It has a 0 fret, as a lot of European guitars do. Watkins logo. Rosewood fingerboard. They say in the literature that I've read that it is some spruce body or some kind of a pine body. It's very, very light. It almost feels like balsa wood, it's so light. But it's held together for all these years, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. rest of the neck is maple, of course. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. If you want to see some cool guitar content, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like. And I'll be sending down another one next week.